by digitalization way method. So why it is difficult, that comes into the mind because Bob is taking a lot of time to complete all the service requests of the customers, and it is the way that customer doesn't wait for that much of time. On the other hand, David is using the digital method where he is completing all the requests and service instantly, and it is becoming more and more easy and helping the customer on the other hand, and that's the reason the customers are really happy and they are giving more and more service to them. So that is the reason the David business is flourishing more and more into it, whereas Bob is struggling more to it. So because he's using the traditional way, he's doing all the documents in a physical way, he's keeping all the records, he's doing a manual checking and doing a manual booking and everything. That is taking a lot of time, and nowadays people are not waiting of that much of time. My second slide comprises of what is the difference between traditional versus digital method. When we see the difference, it is like in traditional method, high costing, then the risk of errors is really very high, and the most important part, it is very slow processing, which you all agree that you don't want that slow processing work should come between your services. In the next hand is a digital method where it is a less manpower is used, less time consumption is there, then very low costing, and the risk of errors is much less. And lastly, the most important, it is a very fast processing, because nowadays everybody is in a digital age and everybody wants their forms to be served in instantly. The solution should be good and it should come fast rather than it should do a slow processing. So this is actual difference between these two methods, and you will agree if you utilize this digital method in your online business module, it will flourish day by day. So when we are talking about digitalization, there comes 4 pillars or 4 key points or 4 factors that we are talking about. That is comprises of first technology, second comes about data, find these 4 pillars. So when you are doing an online business on a platform, there is always a technology which always try to create a new or modify the existing technology, which makes it effective and transparent for the consumers as well as of the business, because always the business people try to help their consumer in such a way that they should be happy in their website while they're visiting it. Second is the data. When you are doing an online business, there are a lot of data and you have to combine that data. You have to make an analysis of the data of the product, of your brand, where the product or your brand is sitting in current situation of the market. So you have to compile all these data, but this can be done in an online platform. You cannot do it manually because it makes a lot of time. It takes more and more of your time, consumes more and more of time, and it compilation of the data. Third comes automation process over here, because the automation process of the business, when we talk about an online platform or a web with the interface, whether it is good for the consumers, they are not having any problems. So it simplifies the entire process, that makes very efficient for the consumer. Last point would be the organizational change. When I'm talking about the organizational change, so when you have given a different level to your product or a brand for the consumers, so the consumer needs more and more improvisation in your particular brand, in your particular product. So for this, to meet the demands of the consumer, you need to do the organizational change in your company. to your consumers and to make the customer happy with your product and the brand. This digitalization tool in the business module. 3 points, where the first point comprises of that the risk of errors is less. So when you are doing any business on an online platform, whether you are doing an e-commerce, whether you are selling medicines online, or you are doing anything, it should be like perfect that whenever the consumer visit your website, there should not be any error. There should not be anything which consumer finds difficult to find in your website. So you want each and everything should be very efficient, very transparent when you are running that business on an online platform. Second point comprises of that it is a secured part where what all the documents regarding your product, brand, company, it is all being stored in an online platform. But if it is stored, not able that you can see that document in your laptop, so you can just retrieve it, you can fix that error. But on the other hand, it is really safe. But if you see in a traditional way, it is not safe. If one document misses or anything happens, you have to start from A to Z. But in a digital tool, you can retrieve it, you can fix it, and you can get your document back. That's the reason why it is really important of using a digital tool in the business module, that the risk of errors is less. Then you have your secure documents safe in your online platform. The last but not the least is the retention of the customer when selling a particular product, whether it's a medicine, whether it is clothes, whether it is shoes, whether it is any. The consumer comes to your website and he or she is having any query or doubt about that particular thing, about a particular product. So what comes in your mind that, okay, if I am having this type of a query in my mind or a complaint about the particular product, so you will immediately try to find out a live chat, or you will try to find out the customer representative of that particular brand, so that you can speak to them and clear your doubts, clear your query or your complaints, whatever you have. So if you retain those customers with your proactive attentiveness solution, the customer will always be happy. It has always be in my case, because I'm always looking at the products online. I'm trying to get trying to save my journey to go from one place to another in search of some product. But if I'm getting that privilege, if I'm getting that attentiveness of that customer representative, the customer will be really, really happy. And the most of the it comprises the entire importance of examples, like doing a promotional flyers for your product or your brand, or you're doing filling a form with a digital signature, which you are doing it online, whether going to that particular place and fill the form manually. So these things comes an advantage when you are using the digital tool in your business model. These things are really not available in your traditional method, because it takes a really tough time to execute those papers or your data or anything for the matter. talking about digitalization, so what points it comes into our mind? First is the time saving, second is the cost saving. You all agree when you are doing, when you're not traveling, so that saves your time. And the how it is the cost saving, it saves if you're not traveling from one place to another for that particular product, and you are able to find it sitting at your home or your office, and you're working on your laptop and trying to find out that particular product. It saves the time plus your cost saving of traveling. Third is the accuracy. The efficiency part is the most important for the business. Last, the easy distribution. When you're trying to give the information about any about the product or the brand or the company, any information regarding your business, it can be floated through social media pages, so that becomes a bit easy. Even you can float that in a website also. Whenever the person is searching something, it should like pop up as a type of an advertisement where you can grab the attention of a number of consumers there. Then it comes to secure docs, which we have discussed around, that the docs are really saved. It's an advantage for the digital tool that you can retrieve all type of a data, all type of a documents if it is saved over there. And last is the increased profit if you retain those customers, potential customers who are coming only to purchase a product from your website, and if you retain them through their attentiveness, through your responsive behavior, they will come back again and again to do the repeat purchases. So now we have studied about what is digitalization, what is utility bill system. You'll all agree with it that everybody has gas, whether it is anything. So when we are talking about electricity, gas bill, every domestic part has these bills, and you have to pay them. It can be telephone bills, it can be any bills. These are the utility bills which you all know. So my question comes around, you all also agree with that. What is the QR code is doing in those bills? Why it is really important the QR code should be those in the utility bills? So in my mind, or in my opinion, the QR code, which is the image which is in the electricity, gas, telephone, water bills, in where the consumers are using it, when it scans, it downloads the app. It makes you easy to download the app, because many nowadays in the public utility services you get these apps for water, electricity, house tax, whatever you name in a utility service, it all comes into that particular website where you can have that option to download it, you can scan it, and you can get all the information relating to your bills. And that is what makes it interesting when you market a QR code. Here's the one point where I want to add. I'm not selling QR code, but I'm trying to tell that it should enhance that in your business, whatever business you are in. If you are if you are generating those electricity bills or water bills, so QR code only enhance. I'm not selling that to you, I'm just telling you what are the benefits, what are the uses which you can apply it in your online business tool. Second comes that why it is really important, the QR codes in a utility system. So in my point, the QR code in a utility system tries to streamline the process and the administrative things. That makes the solution, it gives an instant solution to the customer. So like we are talking about, let's say I take an electricity bill for me, and if I found some difference in the amount, and I'm not satisfied what the amount is given, and I have to just ask the representative for the same, why it has so much of a difference where in the last bill there was not that much. So this is what, when you get a QR code, you get all these things to be streamlined, and QR code only enhance your business to regarding this, because it makes you to streamline, or to in other words, it simplifies the process for the public utility service, so that it can help more and more consumers. So my third point would be the public utility, like electricity, water, energy, garbage, every sewer services are the key players when we are talking about the public utility. These all come under that one header, that is public utility service, which are playing the role in the economic and social development, where you all agree when you are talking about garbage and sewer charges, when you are talking about telephone or electricity or gas. These all comprises for the economic and the social development of the society. But there are some challenges, and we have to improve it. Why we have to improve those services? Because you can serve the customer. This is the one point you always come in the mind, that you have to serve the customer well, because it makes the customer happy through these things. So that's the reason earlier it was a normal bill. Earlier, in a traditional way, the people used to give all type of utility bills to the consumers, and the consumers are not able to communicate to any of the representative of the bill which he received. But now it makes, when the public utility service started adopting the QR code technology to their bills, so that it makes the system streamlined and it makes the consumer happy. Okay, if the consumer scan it, he can get the entire information about whatever the bill he or she is having. So with this connected, what are the benefit you think of the consumer can get through it? First, what we say, it's an ease of use when you are using that QR code on your bill. So consumer can scan it, get the information, what all information he requires. So it's a really easy, the interface is good, and it makes a consumer a little bit relaxed. Okay, I'm paying this bill, so if I want certain information regarding this bill, I can do it through this scanning. So the first point would be the ease of use. Second would be the streamlined process, that which we have discussed. It can be for the asset management also, and the administrative process to be streamlined. Third would be the improve of customer service. So how would you do that? Doing the improving of customer experience. So in my view, and most of the customers of today always using smartphone, so that makes a QR code more accessible for your services, and this service gives you a great information, detailed information about your particular bills, and whatever the useful information the consumer needs or he needs to access through this QR code. So it becomes easy for the consumer, and this is how, if you put the entire information, whether you are giving a website or in your app, this should be the main thing to enhance it and to make the consumer happy with your service, with your app, with your website. And you need to adopt this technology or improvise more and more to give the information whenever the consumer requires, while scanning this QR code in your app or website. So this is what I'm talking about, the detailed information. So how do we engage customer in the utility service? So everybody has the same point, that when we are talking about how to engage them, I would say in a public utility service, many of them, in my case sometimes it is consumers who are have downloaded the app, who have downloaded and have taken a login account for the particular website. So this is what happens when we are talking about. So how it happens when you are talking, if I'm telling a simple, it's a grocery, it's a utility needs are always there in a grocery where you have to, means if you are buying something or you are paying a bill, and if you get, okay, there is a cashback into that particular, if you're using this particular payment, so that makes a consumer happy. Okay, I'm paying this utility bill and I'm getting some cash back. So that makes a consumer really happy. That's why we have part also where there are earlier there was a normal bills, you all know, but now it has given the proper GST CST is impacted on it, so you get the entire breakup of the amount what are you paying for your utility bills. So this is the most important thing when you have to improve your customer experience. It should have the entire information about what the bills the consumers are paying for it. So how would you do that to increase or to engage them? So one point is you all agree that whenever you speak to a gas cylinder, if you are refilling a gas cylinder, or I'll take an example of refilling because this is actually in my part. Whenever I have to put a complaint, I did not have that privilege, or I did not have their numbers to contact with them. I had some certain complaints regarding it, so I couldn't get a complaint box so that I can do some complaints and give it to them. But nowadays, they have developed a website, they have given me a customer service. So whenever I want to talk to a representative, I can go to it, I can speak to them, I can tell them my concern about whatever I'm facing with their service in the utility, because gas cylinder is also coming in a utility service. So everybody wants the solution to be instant, and you always agree, because if these things are there, you can make the consumers really happy. Second, for this, even for you can give the consumer the V card also, where that can be saved digitally on their consumer smartphone. That could be a one way that makes the consumers really happy. Second would be to increase the downloads in the mobile app. So when you having that QR code, that increases the app downloads, and that makes it a bit easier that you can see how many people are scanning it and downloading that app. So this is really, really important for you. Why? Because you always need that increase, you always need that number in your business, and that is how you compile the entire data. Then in my mind, it comes in every utility service. Everybody has a social media pages, somewhat having, someone not having, but it's a crucial point where nowadays every person are into a social media pages, so everybody wants that to follow it. Whether if you go for a normal product also, they will always try that you should go to our social media pages and follow it, so that they may get a much and much followers. They can try to improvise more and more. That's the reason they always try to engage the customers in this way. Then the last thing which I'm talking about is to gather the consumer feedback. So how would you do that? So whenever it's a scanning of a utility bills, so when I'm talking about this, so it comes like, okay, this is the most important part. Why? Because you can get to know why it is so much important to get a customer feedback. It is not about the utility service. In every business, whether it is a retail, whether it is a e-commerce, whether it is independent shops, everybody wants a feedback. And why it is they want that, they can know that where their product is standing. And how can you do that? That is the main point that comes to everybody's mind. Why? How can I get that? So for getting that, after the person, he or she is buying or purchasing or paying the bill, you can just attach that QR code in that particular bill. As soon the payment is done, the feedback form should come instantly and they should review it, and then you get a clear picture whether the consumers are really happy with your service or not. That is what all want in every business. Today's study is on the online billing system, but in every business, everybody wants a customer feedback to improvise more and more services so that their business should flourish day by day. That is what is all about, where the QR code always enhances the business module as much as so that it makes its consumers really, really very happy. So I'm representing Uxlivinglab. Actually, we are market research consultant. We talk about the digital queue. We talk about how we can grow your business through these QR codes. And point we get this continuous feedback because we used to talk with the consumers about your product, about your brand. So we get a clear picture where is your brand and product is standing, and we try to give the qualitative and quantitative report according to it. That is what we actually do. We try to get all the insight of the consumers, all the feedback of the consumers, so that we can try to give you the ideas to improvise your business module, to innovate your ideas to how you can make your business flourish, how you can get the repeat purchases. So this is sharing you the calendar link where you can book an appointment if you want any information about the company, about the products, and how we deal with the things. We can have a chat, we can have a call, and you don't have to wait in a queue. That is what enhances our business, because QR code is just simple registration. Just registered with us and you can get all the information you want regarding our company and how it works, how it deals with it. So I would suggest you should book an appointment with us, and I'll be very ready to help, because for me the customers are really, really important, because I want to focus on them and what are the needs, what are their demands, so that we can try to help you out to grow your business in such a way that you should have more and more profits day by day. So this is the whole session of digitalization, dealing with the case study of the online billing system, which I hope you enjoyed it, because utility bill system is a common area for the domestic as well as the commercial. If you see, if in a domestic also the people who are doing it independently paying it, and if you see in a commercial you will get those invoices, bills, and you have to pay it for the commercial use also. So QR code only enhanced to get the detailed information about whatever you required, whatever this help. And I would suggest that if you're using these things, or you are giving those services to the consumers or to the corporate clients, try to make it more and more enhancement in your bills, so that the consumer should be really happy with your service. And please have a responsive behavior when you are giving these service to the consumers, and that makes the consumers really happy and very eager to come back to your website and an app to download to make more and more repeat purchases. So this is what the entire session was. If you have any question or a query, you just ping me on my Facebook comment box so that I can just go through it and I'll try to connect with you. And even you can book an appointment with us with the calendar link which I'll be sharing with you, and it will make more easier. You don't have to wait for your queue to wait for your service to be served. Whenever you booked it, you will get a call and we can chat, and we will share you the information about our company, about our products, how we are running it, how it works for you. So these things will come into those things. So I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you so much for attending this live sessions.